Illegal immigration has always been a multifaceted and highly debated topic in the United States. For decades, it has been a focal point of political debates, social discussions, and public opinion. The United States, as a nation built on immigration, faces the ongoing challenge of managing undocumented populations while maintaining its reputation as a land of opportunity. Among the countries contributing significantly to this phenomenon, Mexico, El Salvador, and India stand out due to their unique circumstances and motivations for migration. This video will explore the top 10 countries contributing to illegal immigration to the U.S., diving deep into the reasons for migration, the demographics of these immigrant groups, and the broader implications for immigration policies. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments section. Let's jump into this engaging and insightful exploration. Number 1. Mexico, the long-standing leader. Mexico has consistently been the largest source of illegal immigrants to the United States. As of 2022, approximately 4 million unauthorized immigrants from Mexico were residing in the U.S. This accounts for about 37% of the total undocumented population. However, this figure represents a significant decline from previous years, when Mexican nationals made up more than half of all unauthorized immigrants in the country. What drives this long-standing migration? First and foremost, economic conditions play a huge role. Many Mexicans seek better opportunities in the U.S. due to poverty, lack of jobs, and low wages in their home country. Even though Mexico's economy has improved in some areas, large portions of the population continue to struggle with economic disparity. Secondly, violence and crime remain pressing concerns. Drug cartels and organized crime syndicates have a stronghold in many regions of Mexico, forcing families to flee for their safety. Lastly, family reunification is a significant factor. Many Mexican immigrants already have family members living in the U.S., and they migrate to be reunited with loved ones. In recent years, the decline in Mexican immigration has been attributed to a combination of factors, including better economic opportunities in Mexico, stricter border enforcement, and demographic changes. Despite this decrease, Mexico continues to top the list due to its close proximity and the enduring push and pull factors driving migration. Number 2. El Salvador, a nation in crisis. El Salvador is another significant contributor to illegal immigration in the U.S. As of 2022, around 750,000 unauthorized immigrants from El Salvador were residing in the country. This number reflects a growing trend as more Salvadorans flee their homeland due to dire circumstances. The primary reason behind this migration is gang violence. El Salvador has one of the highest homicide rates in the world, largely fueled by gang-related activities. Young people are particularly vulnerable, as gangs either target them for recruitment or punish them if they refuse. This constant threat forces families to make the difficult decision to leave their homes. Economic hardship is another pressing issue. With high unemployment rates and limited opportunities, many Salvadorans are left with no choice but to seek better prospects abroad. Natural disasters, including frequent earthquakes and hurricanes, have further devastated the country's infrastructure, leaving many without homes or livelihoods. U.S. immigration policies, such as Temporary Protected Status, TPS, have provided some relief for Salvadorans by allowing them to remain in the U.S. legally due to unsafe conditions in their home country. However, changes in administration and shifting policies create uncertainty for these populations, making their futures in the U.S. precarious. Number 3. India, the emerging source. India's contribution to illegal immigration in the U.S. has grown significantly in recent years. As of 2022, an estimated 725,000 undocumented Indian immigrants were residing in the United States. This marks a notable increase compared to previous years, signaling a shift in migration trends. Unlike Mexican and Salvadoran migrants, the motivations for Indian immigration are quite different. Many Indians face challenges in obtaining legal visas due to strict requirements regarding education, English proficiency, and financial stability. This leads some to resort to illegal means to enter the U.S. Despite coming from relatively stable economic conditions compared to other migrant groups, Indians are often drawn by the allure of better job opportunities, higher salaries, and an improved standard of living. Another factor fueling Indian migration is the rise of sophisticated smuggling networks. These networks facilitate illegal entry into the U.S., often charging exorbitant fees, sometimes exceeding $100,000 per individual. Most undocumented Indian immigrants are young males aged 18 to 34, motivated by aspirations for a better future rather than escaping extreme poverty or violence. Number 4. Guatemala. A history of hardship. Guatemala has a long-standing history of migration to the United States, with an estimated 675,000 undocumented Guatemalans residing in the U.S. as of 2022. This trend has been shaped by decades of political turmoil, economic instability, and natural disasters. Violence and crime remain major push factors. Gang-related crimes, domestic violence, and high homicide rates plague the country, leaving many Guatemalans with no choice but to flee. Poverty and lack of economic opportunities further drive migration, as a significant portion of the population struggles to meet basic needs. Additionally, Guatemala's vulnerability to natural disasters such as hurricanes and earthquakes exacerbates these challenges, displacing families and devastating communities. The journey from Guatemala to the U.S. is notoriously perilous. Migrants face threats from criminal organizations, extortion, robbery, and even sexual violence along the way. Despite these dangers, thousands make the journey each year, driven by the hope of a better future. Once in the U.S., many Guatemalan immigrants live in a state of uncertainty due to their undocumented status, working low-wage jobs and facing the constant fear of deportation. Number 5. Venezuela, a growing crisis. Venezuela's political and economic collapse has created one of the largest migration crises in recent history. As of 2022, around 270,000 Venezuelans were estimated to be living in the U.S. without legal status, a significant increase from previous years. Political instability and government oppression have led many to flee the country. Since 2013, Venezuela has experienced severe political turmoil, with widespread protests against the government and reports of human rights abuses. Additionally, hyperinflation and economic collapse have left millions in extreme poverty, with basic necessities such as food and medicine in short supply. Many Venezuelan migrants are well-educated professionals who can no longer sustain themselves in their home country. The journey to the U.S. is often complex, involving travel through multiple countries and dangerous routes. Upon arrival, Venezuelans face challenges navigating the U.S. immigration system, with some qualifying for Temporary Protected Status, TPS, but many remaining undocumented due to legal barriers. Number 6. The Philippines. A historical perspective. The Philippines has a long-standing history of migration to the United States, dating back to the early 20th century. Over the years, waves of Filipino immigrants have sought better opportunities in America, contributing significantly to the cultural and economic fabric of the country. As of 2021, approximately 2 million Filipinos were living in the U.S., making them one of the largest immigrant groups. However, among this population, an estimated 310,000 are undocumented immigrants, often referred to as TNT, an acronym for Tago ng Tago, meaning hiding in Filipino. Several factors drive undocumented migration from the Philippines. Economic challenges remain a primary motivator, with many Filipinos seeking better job prospects and higher wages abroad. High unemployment and underemployment rates in the Philippines push individuals to pursue opportunities in the U.S. Family reunification also plays a crucial role, as many undocumented immigrants move to be with relatives already settled in America. Additionally, aspirations for higher education and professional advancement encourage migration, although restrictive U.S. immigration policies make obtaining legal visas increasingly difficult. The journey from the Philippines to the U.S. is often fraught with challenges. Some immigrants enter on temporary visas but overstay due to financial hardships or family commitments. Others resort to illegal means, relying on smuggling networks that charge exorbitant fees and place migrants at great risk. Upon arrival, undocumented Filipinos face significant hurdles, including fear of deportation, limited access to healthcare and education, and vulnerability to exploitation in low-wage jobs. Despite these adversities, the Filipino community demonstrates resilience and maintains strong cultural ties, often creating support networks within established Filipino-American communities in states like California, Texas, and Hawaii. Number 7. China. A growing source of undocumented immigrants. China has emerged as a notable source of undocumented immigrants in the United States. As of recent estimates, approximately 400,000 undocumented Chinese immigrants reside in the U.S. This growing trend reflects various socio-economic and political challenges driving migration. For many, political repression under the current regime is a significant factor. Chinese nationals who advocate for democracy or oppose government policies often face persecution, prompting them to seek refuge abroad. Economic disparities also contribute to migration. Despite China's rapid economic growth, significant inequality persists, especially in rural areas. Many individuals leave their homeland in search of better economic opportunities and living conditions. Furthermore, a considerable number of Chinese students travel abroad for higher education, but some overstay their visas due to challenges finding employment back home or fears of political repercussions. The journey for undocumented Chinese immigrants is often complex and risky. Many initially enter the U.S. on student or tourist visas but later overstay due to personal or financial reasons. Others rely on smuggling networks to facilitate their entry, undertaking perilous routes through multiple countries. Once in the U.S., they face challenges similar to other undocumented groups, including fear of deportation, restricted access to essential services, and exploitation in low-wage jobs. Despite these difficulties, many undocumented Chinese immigrants find support in established Chinese American communities in urban centers like New York City and Los Angeles, where they form networks to navigate their new lives. Number 8. Colombia. A historical perspective. Colombia's history of migration to the United States is closely tied to the nation's political and economic struggles. Particularly during the late 20th century, political violence and instability drove thousands of Colombians to seek refuge abroad. As of 2022, an estimated 130,000 undocumented Colombian immigrants were living in the U.S. This migration reflects ongoing issues such as violence, economic hardship, and corruption that compel many Colombians to leave their homeland. Colombia's decades-long internal conflict, involving guerrilla groups, paramilitary organizations, and drug cartels, has displaced millions of people. Many flee in search of safety and stability. Economic challenges, including high unemployment and widespread poverty, exacerbate the situation, leaving many Colombians with little choice but to seek opportunities elsewhere. Political instability and corruption further fuel migration as individuals look for a secure and better future for themselves and their families. The journey from Colombia to the U.S. can be dangerous and expensive. While some migrants enter legally on temporary visas, many overstay their permits due to economic or family-related reasons. Others resort to illegal means of entry, often relying on smuggling networks that charge steep fees and expose migrants to significant risks. Once in the U.S., undocumented Colombians face numerous obstacles, such as fear of deportation, limited access to essential services, and exploitation in the workforce. Many settle in cities like Miami, New York, and Los Angeles, where they join established Colombian communities for support. Despite the challenges, their resilience and determination shine through as they strive to create better lives for themselves and their loved ones. Number 9. Brazil. A land of dreams and challenges. Brazil is one of South America's largest nations and has long been a source of migration to the United States. While many Brazilian immigrants come through legal pathways, a significant number enter the U.S. undocumented. As of recent estimates, around 150,000 undocumented Brazilians reside in the country. This migration is driven by various factors, including economic hardships, political instability, and aspirations for a better life. Brazil's deep economic inequality, coupled with corruption and high unemployment rates, has pushed many of its citizens to seek opportunities abroad. The journey for undocumented Brazilians often involves both legal and illegal pathways. Some arrive on tourist visas and choose to overstay, while others embark on more perilous routes through Central America and Mexico. Many rely on smugglers, known as coyotes, who guide them across borders at exorbitant costs, often leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and abuse along the way. Once in the U.S., undocumented Brazilians face numerous challenges, including limited job opportunities, language barriers, and fear of deportation. Despite these hardships, many find solace in tight-knit Brazilian communities in states like Florida, Massachusetts, and New York, where cultural familiarity provides a sense of belonging. Life as an undocumented Brazilian in the U.S. is fraught with difficulties. Many work in low-paying jobs in construction, housekeeping, or agriculture, where they face exploitation due to their lack of legal status. Access to healthcare, education, and other essential services remains limited, further exacerbating their struggles. Nevertheless, the resilience and determination of this community are evident, as they strive to build better futures for themselves and their families. Number 10. Dominican Republic. Seeking a new horizon. The Dominican Republic has a rich history of migration to the United States, with many Dominicans seeking better opportunities across the border. As of recent data, approximately 130,000 undocumented Dominicans live in the U.S., making them a notable immigrant group. Economic instability, high unemployment rates, and limited access to quality education are some of the primary factors driving migration. Additionally, many Dominicans migrate to reunite with family members who have already established themselves in the U.S. Most undocumented Dominicans enter the U.S. legally, often on temporary visas, and overstay once these visas expire. Others take more dangerous routes, including traveling by sea to Puerto Rico, which serves as a gateway to the mainland U.S. This method, while common, is fraught with risks, as individuals face harsh weather conditions and overcrowded vessels. Once in the U.S., many settle in states with significant Dominican populations, such as New York, New Jersey, and Florida, where they find cultural support and access to informal job networks. Life as an undocumented immigrant from the Dominican Republic is challenging, marked by fear of deportation and limited access to essential resources. Many work in service industries, such as hospitality, food service, or domestic work, where they face low wages and poor working conditions. Despite these obstacles, Dominican immigrants are known for their strong community ties and vibrant cultural traditions, which help them navigate the challenges of life in a foreign land. Efforts to secure legal status remain a top priority for many undocumented Dominicans, as they seek stability and opportunities for future generations. The stories of undocumented immigrants from the Philippines, China, Colombia, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic highlight the diverse challenges and aspirations driving migration to the United States. Each community carries unique cultural values, histories, and struggles as they strive for better lives in the face of significant obstacles. By understanding these narratives, we gain a deeper appreciation of the complexities of immigration and the resilience of those who make such journeys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful videos about immigration, travel, and global cultures. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.